Now, on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. O'Connor and Company.
6:07 on this third day of November, day before election in the Commonwealth of Virginia, as well as New Jersey and the city of New York and other local elections around the country. We've got you covered with all the information you need to make an informed vote tomorrow. At 6:35, we'll speak with Tim Graham from Media Research Center. At 7:05, Joe DeGeneva. Sure, he has some opinions on John Brennan's meltdown there. 8:05, Sean Spicer, host of the Sean Spicer Show. It's Larry O'Connor with Julie Gunlock. Good morning, Julie.
Good morning.
Been a lot of issues to discuss in this election. One of them that actually did get quite a bit of play there when people weren't focused on, the murder fantasies of the man who wants to be Attorney General and Abigail Spanberger's inability to answer a straight question in a coherent fashion, was the issue of right to work and Virginians having the ability to hold on to that right in the face of the overwhelming power of major unions, especially in Virginia, those unions that are involved with the federal government and other industries. Mark Mix is the president of the National Right to Work Committee, joins us now. And this is a major issue here, Mr. Mix, with regard to Abigail Spanberger and the Democrats and the pivot they've made in Virginia.
Yeah, indeed, Larry. Good morning to you, Julie. It is an issue. It's getting some attention. Governor Youngkin actually has been the one that's giving it the most attention. We've been trying to communicating with Virginians about the issue of right to work. And Larry, Julie, this is one of those simple ones that Abigail Spanberger can't answer. It's another one of these issues. Should workers in Virginia be forced to pay union dues or fees in order to get or keep a job? Since 1947, the answer's been no, but today, there's a robust debate on the other side of the aisle with the Democrats about, hey, how can we gather more money? If repealing right to work would be one way to do that.
You're right that Abigail Spanberger, as is typical, refuses to actually answer a straight question or commit one way or the other about where she stands on this. But her voting record in Congress is pretty clear. She doesn't have to answer these questions until she says otherwise. We know because she voted for things like this, like the PRO Act.
Yeah, absolutely, Larry. We've talked about that before. That was a bill that would have repealed all the right-to-work laws across the country, the 26 states that have them, and she voted not once but twice to forward that bill that basically would have gutted right-to-work in Virginia at that time. So now when she's asked about it, she says something like, well, we need to maybe think about reforming it. And frankly, a binary issue like this, whether you either pay or you don't to get or keep a job, is not something that is reformable in the sense of giving people and protecting individual liberty and individual rights.
Right to work is particularly important for women. Many women want flexible work schedules. They want to be able to work from home, for instance. They want to be able to pick their kids up at school pickup, right, and still have a job. And so this kind of this threat to right to work should be women should be aware of it, but I feel like in Virginia, so many women gravitate to Spanberger because they think she's a moderate. This is a radical proposal. Do you think that the Republicans and Winsome Sears has done a good job kind of explaining to women Spanberger will mean the end of the work arrangements that are best for you and your family?
Well, obviously, you can do better always, and candidate Sears has done a good job as lieutenant governor talking about right to work. She's partnered with Governor Youngkin to help expand jobs and opportunities in Virginia. But, Julie, that's an issue that goes even deeper to the idea of independent contractors. I think you've talked about this before. The idea that you change the definition of those people that have a side job or a part-time job or something that gives them flexibility, as you spoke of. The unions were the ones trying to change that because you can't unionize independent contractors, but you can unionize employees. And so that's an ongoing battle and an ongoing struggle. But it's really, as Larry pointed out at the beginning, these are union officials that when they get in power, the first thing they do is how do we think about forcing workers to pay dues to support our political campaigns and ideological campaigns? It's wrong, and it's an issue that's on the table right now in Virginia.
Is there any doubt in your mind, sir, that should Abigail Spanberger win and the Democrats retain their majorities in Richmond, that this is something that they will jam through? They just need a clear majority, right?
Well, yeah, and that's what happened in Michigan. I mean, the Democrats took control of the House up there by one vote and one vote in the Senate. And with Gretchen Whitmer in the governor's seat, one of the first bills they introduced was the repeal of right to work that had been in place in Michigan for 10 years. And within a couple of weeks, the next thing you know, workers are looking at their paycheck and there's a new dues deduction in that paycheck that they're looking at and say, well, where did this come from? How did this happen? So I think they'll try. They've tried it before. They tried it in 1991. We beat it back. They tried it when Governor Northam was in office, and we beat it back. And obviously there'll be a fight in the General Assembly if it comes to this. But, yeah, it would be hard to have a governor who had a finger on the thumb that says, I want to give this private organization more power over workers in Virginia by allowing them to force workers to pay dues or fees to get or keep a job.
We're speaking with Mark Mix, president of the National Right to Work Committee, and Virginia has been able to attract a lot of businesses and a lot of employment opportunities for Virginians because they've retained this, right, especially considering the states that border them, or in the District of Columbia for that matter. This has a huge economic impact. I think it's noteworthy that Governor Youngkin has brought this front and center because he's been able to engineer that economic comeback. There's a reason why Maryland is facing deficits and tax increases and fees increases everywhere versus Virginia that's actually got a surplus, a tax cut, and much greater employment opportunities. The two go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, indeed they do. When you look at the statistics about it, when you think about right-to-work states versus fourth union states, 10 times manufacturing growth in right-to-work states, double private sector job growth in right-to-work states. I mean, actual more disposable income to spend in right-to-work states. And Larry, to your point, this is Maryland versus Virginia. We become Maryland if we allow union officials to take over power, whether in controlling whether workers can pay dues or fees. And Governor Youngkin has seen it firsthand. These aren't anecdotes; these are facts. When companies come to Virginia and say we'd like to locate here, one of the primary kickouts is, do you have a right to work law? And CNBC has recognized this. Virginia's been the top state for business, I think, 3 out of the last 6 years. And one of the things they talk about is right to work.
Have you been able to quantify the kind of strong arm tactics and campaign funding and organizing that the unions have put into Virginia to try to get out that vote and try to sort of bully their way into the ballot box tomorrow?
Yeah, indeed. They're all in. I mean, the money just flows. And when you can collect money from someone as a condition of their employment and not be held accountable for what you do with it, it's a pretty good political structure. And certainly union officials, we talk about lots of money in the political process. Well, unions, if you just scratch the surface of their reports that they file, you find $2 billion every 2 years in politics and lobbying because they can compel you to pay dues or fees. Now, there are a lot of workers out there that love their unions. There's a lot of unions that do good things, but they don't need compulsion if they're doing good things for the workers they claim to represent. But yet here, the agenda is, we've got to force workers to pay dues, to be part of that union, take away their associational rights, and then to add insult to injury, force them to pay it. It doesn't make any sense. If unions are doing great things, workers will come. What is that, the Field of Dreams thing? If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This isn't a close call, by the way. As you poll this, Virginians support maintaining right to work protocols in the Commonwealth by something like 9-1, isn't it?
Yeah, Larry. Virginia Free, which is a business group, and it did a poll back in May. But every poll that we've ever done, even including Gallup, when they do their polls every year in August, workers say by 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 say, no, you shouldn't be forced to pay dues or fees to a union to get or keep a job. But therein lies the fight. Being right is not enough. Mobilizing, organizing, and getting the issue out is the important thing. And again, to your point, Larry, it's not one of these, quote, marquee issues that flashes every night as you drive down the highway, but it's an important fundamental issue when it comes to these issues of, first, individual freedom, and second, economic vitality of the state of the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Mark Mix, National Right to Work Committee. The website is NRTWC, National Right to Work Committee. Oh, I see what you did there. NRTWC.org. Thank you, Mr. Mix. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Julie.